This is a very important rule that women need to remember. Women are the gatekeepers of sex, and men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Hey guys, so I have got 5 lessons for all of us women that we can learn from men. And I'm speaking with regards to dating and situationships and relationships. There's one simple thing women can do to convert our emotional and thought process from the way we typically think and experience relationships and our emotions and our feelings to the way men do. And I'm going to teach you how you can do this. I want you to try it. You got to do it for about 2 weeks for it to work. And you'll have to come back to this video and comment and tell me what you experienced. But anyways, I'm going to share these 5 lessons women can learn from men first. So here we go. So lesson number 1 is men don't date for potential. They don't. Women date for potential. You'll literally hear women say to their friends or whatever, oh, this one's got potential. Like, we admit it, like blatantly out loud, this one's got potential. We're literally talking about like what we can do to change a man into what we want. Men don't do that. And men are straight up. They're like, if they don't like brunettes, they like redheads, they won't date you. They'll go and date a redhead. If they don't like girls with small boobs, sure, they could pay for a boob job for you, but they won't. They'll just go find a girl with bigger boobs. This is what men do. They find what they like and they just go and get it. They don't date for what could be or what might be one day. Whereas us women we will see a good quality or something we like in a man, or we'll see the good, like the good qualities and the things we appreciate. We'll hold on to those, hone in on those, try and make them dominant. They'll become dominant in our brains, and we get a rise. We get dopamine rises thinking about these positive qualities that a man might have, and then we think about what isn't so great and how those things are small and we can fix those things, or those will change when he loves us, or those will change when he gets more comfortable. And us women will literally think of it as, well, he's got definite potential because he has these great qualities, and the hormones and the neurotransmitters release, and we feel good about it, and we just think of, and those qualities that we don't appreciate so much, we just don't think about those because we're thinking about the potential that all those good qualities have, and the potential the man has to develop the rest of himself into something that suits us better. Whereas men, they just go find what they want. That's it. If they don't like us, they go find what they want. I had a guy literally tell me once, I really like you. I think you're amazing. I think you're beautiful. You're fun. You're brilliant. We have a good time. But your job, it creeps me out. I don't like it. There's something about it that creeps me out. So like, I can't do it. Like, we can't. I'd love to be your friend. And to this day, this guy and I are still good friends. We're actually friends, and we are good friends. And I appreciate his honesty because he was upfront. He didn't lead me on. He didn't string me along. He was straight up with me. And he just liked me. He liked me for who I was, but he didn't like my job. It creeped him out. So, I mean, who can blame him if I'm going to come home every day and tell him about my day and he's going to feel the ick and feel the creep, like, why would he date me? He didn't try and change my job and date me, try and convince me to get a new job. He just told me he wasn't into it. So guys don't date for potential. Women do. We need to stop doing this. We need to let go, move on, find someone that is what we want, not what we want them to be. That's the right thing to do, ladies. We got to do it. So the second thing is, men put themselves first. And I don't want to hear any bullshit comments about how I'm a man hater, because I'm absolutely not a man hater at all. I appreciate the sexes and the genders for what we both are, what we contribute differently, and the value that we bring from different sides to relationships and to social interactions and to everything. I'm just calling it like it is, okay? So men do have a tendency, and again, sorry, second disclaimer, there's exemptions to everything. There are men and women that won't fall within these social and psychological norms and behavioral patterns. So there are exceptions, okay? So there's my disclaimer. But typically, men put themselves first. They do what's right for them. And if a relationship isn't working for a guy at the time, like all of a sudden it's taking up too much of his time, it's starting to become a drag because he wants to go out with his friends more, and we're like, no, stay home, like skip hockey, like you don't need to play hockey like 3 times. Why do you have to play like hockey like 3 times a week? Play it like, why can't play it once a week or whatever? If it starts not working for him, they just walk. 9 times out of 10, they just walk. And that's because they don't have the attachment that women have. And we carry an attachment for a very specific scientific reason. And at the end of this video, I'm going to explain it to you. And that's part of the experiment. I'm going to teach you how to not experience attachment in the way that women experience it. So you can think up here logically and make decisions logically instead of from an attachment-based viewpoint. So you'll see when I explain it. It's very interesting. But anyways, men will do what's right for them. Women hold on, we get attached, and we will hold on to something that is very much not what we're looking for. It's not fitting into our lifestyle, it's not fitting into what we want in a relationship, but we'll hold on to that and we'll just keep going and keep going because we're still holding on to that, like that view of what it could be, that potential. Right? It's a killer, ladies. Attachment is a freaking trap. It's a woman trap. So the third thing is men will date when they have room in their life to date. So like when they will if they have room, if they have extra time, they'll find someone to date to fill some time. They don't want to be alone, they're bored, they want to have sex, or they want to have somebody to like chill with or hang out or whatever. They'll date. They want to have someone to take out with them and do things, they'll date. Women, we will like think of our lives and be like, how can I fit a man into this? What can I replace with a man in my life right now? So, for instance, a good example of this is how men, like when they have guys' night and you're dating a new guy, they're going to guys' night. Like, they're going on guys' night. It doesn't matter if you're new and you're feeling all these endorphins and oxytocin and you're excited and you're hot for them and you want to spend time with them every free minute. You're thinking about them, and they like, it's guys' night and they're like out the door. They're like, see you later. Like, it's guys' night. Whereas women, when they start dating a new man, and we know this, girls, we stop seeing our girlfriends. They disappear for 3 months. They're gone. They're off the radar. Like, they're off the map. We don't know. We don't know where they're gone because they have now replaced everything with that man in their life. They will literally start crossing things off their list and making room in their life for a man. So whereas a man will fit us in when there's room, we make room for a man. We could do better because that we really aren't respecting ourselves by throwing our own personal lives and our hobbies and what we enjoy and the things we do out the window just to make room for somebody else in our life when it's not even a formalized monogamous relationship. Sometimes it's just a situationship. There's no like exclusivity here. It's just like someone we're dating, and we'll just stop doing everything that we normally do to make room for them. Whereas men will date when they have time for us, and we ladies need to do better. We can do that too. So that is another positive thing that men do. They keep their hobbies, they keep what's good for them, they keep the things that make them have a good time and enjoy, and then a woman complements their life. They don't make a woman their whole life. We make a man our life. Whereas men will let a woman complement their life. That's, I guess, the difference, the best way to explain it. So the fourth thing is men don't try to change a woman. And this comes back to the potential thing again, I guess, a little bit, a lot to some degree. If a man really loves you, and whereas we will try to change man into what we see as ideal, we will try to convince them to stop playing so much hockey or to dress a little bit better or like change your shoes. Like those filthy runners are gross. Like start wearing like nicer shoes or, you know, like clean your car. Like we'll try to do things to change men. Whereas a man, men won't really try and change us. If they don't like us, they'll just date somebody else. We talked about this before. They don't try and change you into someone that they like. But if a man really loves you and he knows there's certain things that are triggers to you or that you don't love or really appreciate, like his filthy car, you'll see him start cleaning his car on his own. if he knows it's something that you're uncomfortable with, that you don't like, you won't need to try and make those changes or make the suggestions like, why don't you clean your car? And being like an annoying bitch. You don't have to do it. Because if a man really loves you, he'll start upping his game all on his own. They'll start dressing better. Men will start like leveling up to raise up to a woman that they put on a pedestal. If they have you on a pedestal, if they really value you, if they really like you, they will level themselves up. You won't need to change a fucking thing because men will do this themselves. And that's, I guess, a good indicator of how much a man values you and if he really thinks of you as something long-term and serious, as opposed to something that's passing through his life. That's something that's there for a time, and he sees you as something that will pass through and be gone. There's a good indicator. And the fifth and final point is that a man will keep his options open. And this one's going to hurt, ladies. Don't hate me. And men, don't hate me. Men keep their options open. Okay? So in situationships where you're like not committed, but you're like hanging out 3 or 4 times a week and you're seeing each other, you're doing everything together, you're talking on the phone and texting all day and this kind of thing, but there's really not a name or an identification placed on this relationship. Men, this is a situationship. Men are still keeping their options open. If you were to look at their phone, which I never suggest you do, if you have to do that, get the hell out. It's over. If you are at that point in your life where you need to check a man's phone, it's time to go. It's time to walk because you've become too attached and it's now altering your healthy decision making and you're disrespecting another human being's boundaries, and I never suggest that. If you see those things happening to yourself, it's time to move on. Break the attachment. You're going to be okay. You need some time to yourself. That's all. That's all. So, anyways, nonetheless. But on their phones will be Tinder and dating apps because they keep their options open until they have found the one, until they have found the girl they know they want to be with, whether it ends in marriage or it doesn't. The one, I mean, the one for the time, until they found a girl that they can put on a pedestal, that they value enough that they feel like they need to rise to the challenge to have her and to be with her, and she's the one they want in their life right now. They're playing the game still, and they're keeping their options open. And this is the thing. As soon as we have sex with a man, in a woman's mind, everything changes. So for a man, men will feel bonding and attachment. This comes to attachment for a very short time during a sexual interaction, okay? But it's very short. It's fleeting. It comes and it goes. They will feel closeness and bonding and attachment during that time. But as soon as that interaction is over, those emotions are gone. Whereas the hormones, the neuropeptides, the chemicals that are released that make human beings, men and women, feel attachment and bonding, hang around in a woman. They stay, okay? And they linger. So we have those feelings of attachment all the time, and we make decisions based on them because now we're making decisions emotionally and hormonally as opposed to logically. Whereas men are able to walk the planet making logical process-based decisions because they don't have these feelings of attachment lingering around like a shadow casted over them, like making decisions for them and guiding their decision-making ability, okay? So they will keep their options open because it's the right thing to do. I suggest we all keep our options open until a relationship is labeled exclusive and labeled a monogamous relationship. Until a man labels it that, then it's not monogamous, and they're keeping their options open and they're still looking for someone else that might be better or might be better suited to them. And women, we need to do this too. We can learn this lesson too. And I'm not saying sleep with everybody. Don't sleep with any of them. Just date. Get to know people. Date other people. Have communication with other men. Keep your options open. Until a man says this is an exclusive relationship, it is not exclusive. This is what we need to remember. This is a very important rule that women need to remember. Women are the gatekeepers of sex, and men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Don't ever forget this. We decide when the sex is going to happen in relationships and situationships and this and that. We can control that, but we can't control when there's going to be commitment. Men are in control of that. And until a man says this is a committed relationship, assume that it is not and treat it as it is not, because it is not. And women, we can use the sex to control, not manipulate a relationship, but control how we make decisions in a relationship. And this is where I'm going to bring you to the experiment. Okay, so I made these notes while I was working today, so I put them on my phone. This is brilliant. So first of all, I'm going to explain to you what happens. So when we are in a relationship, it's new, it's exciting, okay? So women, we are experiencing, and men are experiencing during short periods, usually for the most part, but sometimes in the very beginning, they'll experience this too. But human attraction and attraction is based on hormone releases, okay? So it's based on the release of dopamine, which is, we have a whole video about dopamine I made the other day. Check it out. It is associated with pleasure, reward. It's released during enjoyable experiences. And attraction, feeling attracted to another human being, is one of those enjoyable experiences. It's one of those times where our brain will release dopamine. When you see that person you like text you, you're going to get a dopamine hit. When you see the text come across your phone, or when your phone rings and it lights up, you get a dopamine hit. That's why you'll check your phone 10 times a day to see if someone texted you, because your brain is craving that dopamine, okay? Because dopamine is a very addictive drug. Like, it's an addictive neurotransmitter. So serotonin, it regulates our mood, our social behavior, it influences feelings of well-being, happiness, and it also impacts attraction. So it will also flux, and you'll feel raises in like these warm, cozy, happy, loving feelings. And that's a rise in serotonin, and that is a byproduct of being attracted to somebody. And it also is a cause for attraction. If you have that release of serotonin when you're with somebody, that is part of what contributes to you feeling attracted to them, okay? So testosterone is another one. Testosterone is more sexually based though. So it's linked to sexual desire and arousal. Testosterone levels can influence attraction. So if you are releasing testosterone when you're with somebody, you're going to feel more attracted, and you will release these during and after sexual events or interactions, and that increases your attraction to somebody. But again, women, these things for men are released in short bursts, and then they're gone. And for us ladies, we release them and they linger. So we are living in the state under the influence of these hormones, neurotransmitters, neuropeptides. We are living underneath them and in underneath their shadow, whereas men are not. Men are making decisions based on their logic and decision-making processes. And we are making decisions under the influence of these chemicals, okay? So we are literally living under the influence, okay? Oxytocin is the big one for us ladies. Oxytocin is often referred to as a love hormone. It is released during intimate moments, fostering feelings of bonding and trust, and it's crucial in attraction, okay? So bonding, this feeling of bonding and trust, women, it stays with us. We have an intimate moment with a guy, we have a sexual interaction with a guy, we will release oxytocin, and it stays. It doesn't go away. So we feel the bonding and the trust, and we think we're in a relationship, and in our brains it's telling us we are in a relationship, and it's just the two of us. Even if it's just a situationship and guys are keeping their options open and they're still swiping right and left on Tinder, like right and left, because they had that spike in oxytocin, but then it went away when the intimate event was over. And now they're back to themselves and thinking logically and keeping their options open, because it's not a relationship yet. It's not exclusive yet. It's just still someone you're feeling out to see if they're right for you. We're already in the bonding phase. We're like building bonding feelings and trusting feelings towards this other person when they're not even sure if we're like good, right for them yet to be their girlfriend. They don't even know yet. They haven't decided. We need to learn from this. And there's a way we can learn what this feels like to live like a man. So attachment is what happens to us. We become attached because of these bonding and these bonding and these intimate feelings that are lingering and hanging on to us and impacting our decision making. Okay, so the release of hormones like oxytocin and neuropeptides like vasopressin, they promote feelings of closeness and connection, and they're unavoidable. So everybody gets them, but for guys they come, for girls for guys they come and go, for girls they just come, and we feel them and we get attached. So ladies, experiment time. You want to know what it's like to make decisions like a man and to cut out that feeling of attachment that we get as soon as we start sleeping with somebody, and that feeling of like this is a relationship where we're fooling ourselves and we're pretending that we're in something that we're not in yet because the man hasn't decided. Remember, he's the gatekeeper of commitment. We're only the gatekeeper of sex. So, and don't say only, because sex is a big, huge thing, but men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Until that man says to you, this is an exclusive relationship, it is not exclusive. And we will convince ourselves that it is because we have attachment, because of the release of oxytocin and neuropeptides like vasopressin. So, sorry, I've got a runny nose. I have allergies today. It's brutal. I have allergies all the time when I'm making videos. Anyways, so what we got to do, ladies, if you want to try and know what it's like to think like a man in a relationship or a situationship, and you want to make decisions based on it, and you want to know where your relationship is really at and be able to think without the brain fog for a little bit, stop having sex. Don't do it for 2 weeks. Make up excuses. Have a few days where you're where it's a bad time, and then like avoid it. Just avoid it for 2 weeks. 2 weeks straight. 1 week might be enough, but this shit lingers. It's probably more like 2 weeks. I would say 7 to 10 days you're looking at. Don't have sex. Those hormones, that neuropeptide, those chemicals are going to level down until we're at the same state a man lives at. And all of a sudden, the brain fog will clear. Those feelings of bonding and attachment will clear up and be gone. And we'll be able to see the relationship or situationship we're in for exactly the way a man sees it and for exactly what it is. Because they see it clearly. We see it under the umbrella of hormonal activation. And if you want to see it the way they see it and see it for what it truthfully is, don't have sex for 7 to 10 days. And don't sleep with guys you're just dating. I'm telling you. And I'm not a frigid bitch. I'm not a prude. I'm not anything saying don't have sex until you're married. Nah, 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 nah. I'm just telling you, biologically, from a neurobiological standpoint, this is how we can put ourselves on the same level as men cognitively when it comes to relationships and think the way they're thinking and be able to perceive the relationship in the way that a man is perceiving it. So if you want to see it the way he sees it, try that. And in 2 weeks, you'll see it for what it is, and you'll know if you're in just a situationship or if you're in a committed real relationship, because you'll be able to see for the first time clearly without feeling first, because we do a lot of feeling, not a lot of processing when it comes to relationships. And men do a lot of processing and not a lot of feeling. They have feelings, but feelings grow slowly for men. Men will grow feelings of bonding and attachment, but it grows out of experiences. Women grow feelings of bonding and attachment out of hormones, chemicals, and neuropeptides, and the balance of these things in our brains. Men experience things, and then those feelings grow, those hormones and those chemicals will rise inside them, but it takes time for them. We do it quick, and it happens for us as soon as we sleep with somebody, because we both men and women will release these chemicals, but for men, they're gone as fast as they came, and for women, they stay. So we are living under the umbrella of these, making decisions based on these. So girls, there's my experiment. Don't have sex with guys you're dating, first of all, as a rule. If you're just dating casually, don't sleep with them. Don't sleep with them, because all you're doing is creating attachment, and attachment makes us see things not for what they are, but for what we want them to be. And it makes us see things through like foggy glasses, through foggy lenses, because we are feeling our way through a relationship, not seeing and processing our way through the relationship. We're feeling our way through. So don't have sex with guys you're dating, and try not sleeping with someone you're in a dating or a situationship with for 2 weeks, and you will see it the way, if it's not an exclusive relationship. If a guy has said that we're exclusive, then why would you do this? You don't need to do this, because you know he's decided, he's picked you. He's been the gatekeeper of commitment, and he's made himself committed to you. But if a guy hasn't, and it's not a committed relationship, and you might be getting strung along, this is how to know. Don't do it for 2 weeks, and you'll see it exactly for what it is. And that's it, girls. Please don't hate me for this, but if you do, I don't fucking care. I'm just telling you how it is, and that's real life. See you soon.